Hi there, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday. Hey, I'm right on time today. Woo, woo. Important night tonight. Got some fun stuff happening, and of course, I've been bugging everybody this week about the topic because I feel like it's such an important one. So, a couple of things though before we get started. Just want to let you know I have an incredible guest tomorrow night for Facebook Live Real Life Edition. Her name is Melissa Moore. She is amazing, and we are going to talk about things that you should think about and really kind of talk about with your doctor or your surgeon when it comes to bariatric surgery. Melinda's had the gastric sleeve surgery, and she wants people to know what's involved and what kind of things that you should think about, and that it's really not a shortcut. There's a lot involved, both physically and mentally and emotionally. So she's going to be here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. She'll be my special guest, and it'll be awesome. You're going to want to tune in. Even if it's not for you, you might know somebody who needs to tune in and watch that. So it's going to be great. But up for tonight, and I'm just discovering that my F squared is backwards on. What an interesting concept that it just flips everything backwards. So anyway, I'm just being kind of funny tonight. But anyway, so we have an incredible topic tonight. We're going to talk about sleep. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's been fascinating. I've had a fascinating couple of weeks talking to people about whether or not they're getting enough sleep. All I have to do is mention that, and people come out of the woodwork. Nobody gets enough sleep. They don't feel refreshed, recovered. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight and about why that's so important. So and then on top of that, I've got some really important information. You're going to want to stay tuned till the end of this because I have some fun stuff to talk about, and you definitely want to be there. So I'm going to post it. So, of course, if you can't stay to the end, come back to it. You're going to, I'm weird. I'm going to tell like it is. I'm real. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So you'll want to pay attention. So let's get started. First of all, I just want to talk really quickly about how I teach. I'm having been formerly obese most of my adult life. For those of you just tuning in, you don't know who I am 42 years old. I'm the mother of 5 children. Their ages range from 9 to 22. So I actually have adult children in my life. And for most of my adult life, I really struggled with weight and just being unhealthy. And honestly, it just came down to education. And so, I've spent the last probably 7-8 years not only getting myself healthy, but teaching other people to do the same. And I'm really, really big on doing it the right way. So here is 3. I'm not quite sure what that means, Jesper, so we'll have to talk later. Anyway, so welcome anybody who is jumping on. But the way that I do teach for health and wellness, and I do a lot of coaching, because to me, it's not about how quickly you can take off the weight or how quickly you can get healthy. It's about how long can you sustain that? How long can you keep off the weight? How long, incorporating healthy habits and doing it for a lifetime. So I'm seriously not a huge fan of New Year's resolutions. I'm not a fan of, hey, let's take 3 months to do it, but then we're going to go right back to the same thing that we were doing before. So Jesper says it's 3 a.m. Is that where you're at, Jesper? I'm like I said, I'm not quite getting that, but hopefully you're awake and alive and listening. So the way that I teach is kind of on a multi-pronged fashion, that I really believe that there's more than one issue that you should address when it comes to being healthy. So when I work with people, I address 5 things primarily that people need to address in order to become the best self. Number 1, of course, is getting some cardiovascular activity in so that you can have a healthy heart. It helps your fat burn. It's good for the body. Number 2, though, we also want to address strength training because it is a different type of exercise than cardio. So, both are important for different reasons. And of course, strength training is what changed my life. Learning to build muscle when it comes to balance and tone and all those fun things that people think, oh, I don't want to build big muscle. I just want to tone. What do you think you're going to tone to? You have to have some muscle to tone to. 3 is nutrition. Of course, you have to have that in line with, I did years of cardio, couldn't figure out why my body didn't change until I got my nutrition under control. But the next one is sleep. And that's the main one that we're going to talk about tonight because I don't think people give that enough importance. And I do also talk about reducing stress and mental and emotional health, but that's for another night. So we're going to come back to sleep for a little bit because I really do believe that it's insanely important and that most people don't understand what the benefits are, of course, until a lot of you just struggle to get enough sleep. So let's talk a little bit about that. So whenever you are sleeping, most of us hit 3 different cycles in a night. Of course, we have light sleep, we have our REM sleep where we tend to dream, and we have our deep sleep. So we're going to primarily focus on deep sleep tonight because that is one of the most important parts of the cycle of sleep. But let's talk a little bit about overall sleep. A sleep cycle itself, the first cycle runs anywhere from 70 to 100 minutes. Okay, and this, you may or may not care about this part. I just found it interesting because I like the science. The second on your sleep cycles will last anywhere from 90 to 120 minutes. So figure that, that's one of the reasons why if you wake up in the middle of a sleep cycle, like your alarm goes off in the morning and you're feeling kind of groggy and not all there, you woke up in the middle of a sleep cycle. So that's why you're struggling to get up and you feel a little bit sluggish and a little bit off. So keep that in mind that, your goal is to get as many sleep cycles in there as possible, but the true goal is to get enough deep sleep. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. So, the deep sleep primarily happens in the first part of your sleep cycles or the first part of your night. Of course, most of us do sleep during the night. That is what our bodies are programmed to do. That is what your circadian rhythm is programmed to do. The problem is, I know a lot of you have shift work. A lot of you work all night. That is a difficult part of it. That is a struggle because, of course, when your bodies can't roll with the sun and the darkness at night, that can throw your circadian rhythm off, and it really does make it a struggle to get the right kind of sleep and enough sleep. So I'm with you on that. I totally get it. I know that is part, it's necessary when you have a job like that. So keep in mind that I am paying attention to that. And so I'm doing the best I can to help you. But I know that can be a problem. So, one of the problems with our sleep cycles, our sleep cycles can be thrown off a little bit, there's actually a lot of variables that can be thrown in there. It could be stress. Obviously, I know I've talked to a lot of people recently where stress is really throwing off your sleep. It might cause some insomnia because you just can't shut your head off. I've had that happen, so I understand that. As we get older, sometimes our cycles get off or we just really struggle to find enough sleep. Different medications or even the use of drugs can actually throw our systems off and really prevent us from getting the right amount of sleep. Any sort of sleep disruption can play a role in that can be a big struggle. Sleep apnea, I know that's kind of a big issue that a lot of people are having. So, I'm aware that things throw us off. And the downside to not getting enough sleep is pretty huge. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, all of the downsides. But we're also going to talk about the benefits of getting enough sleep. And then I'm going to give you some tips on how to get enough sleep. So super important. And here's the deal, guys. What I'd like to know is, first of all, if you're hopping on, let me know. Are you getting enough sleep? Hop up there. I want to know. Put some comments down below. Are you getting enough sleep? And how does that make you feel? I'm just really interested in how many people out there. Like I said, I'm just discovering a lot of people are struggling with sleep of every age too, not just every age. It's a fairly common occurrence at this point. So let's talk a little bit about what deep sleep does for you. Okay, deep sleep, and I've learned more about this because as an athlete, rest and recovery is important to me. I know that when I'm trying to build muscle, I don't grow when I lift. I grow when I sleep, when I rest and recover. So when you get into that deep sleep, that is when your muscle recovery happens. It's when your body actually releases the human growth hormone that you build and provide. And so when that sleep is disrupted, you don't always get those benefits from that. So muscle repair, your natural human growth hormone comes from that. Deep sleep is the most refreshing part of sleep. If you wake up in the morning, and even if you've had 8 hours and you have not gotten enough deep sleep, you are going to struggle because you haven't hit that reset button in your body. It's just really needing to hit that point so that your brain can reset. There's some other things that happen as well in deep sleep. There's something that they call consolidation, where things that you've learned during the day, actually your brain actually assimilates and deals with and puts it together. So for people who are going to school, trying to learn, that's actually super helpful in beneficial in that is that your body can actually put that information together and it actually helps you to learn more. So when it comes to the restoring and the refreshing in that deep sleep, it's not just physical, it's also mental and emotional. There's a huge benefit to that. It clears the brain and it helps you kind of start over in the morning. So here's another thing. It's really important that if you do take naps during the day, that you try not to get more than 20 minutes. And I just learned this today. I do a lot of research when it comes to this information before I talk about it, because I find the science fascinating. And one of the things they talked about is that if you're going through a full sleep cycle when you nap, which is usually more than 20 minutes, because 20 minutes is a good power nap, right? That you will struggle to sleep at night because you've already been through one sleep cycle, and that can actually throw off your sleeping at night. So keep that in mind, that if I've known people that talk about, well, if I sleep more than 20 minutes, then I struggle to even get up again. Well, it's because your body thinks you're asleep for the night, that you're down for the count. So that can definitely be a problem. So let's talk about a little bit about the downsides of not getting enough sleep first. Okay. Wow. I've heard so many interesting comments from people who really struggle to get enough sleep. I myself have been, in the 5 years of competing, there's been times where I really struggled to, get enough sleep for whatever reason. And so I actually, when I go for too long without enough sleep, I get some really funky headaches. I start to have some dizziness during the day. My body just really struggles to even function at the high efficiency that I need it to. So that is, a big part of it. But here's some other things that I came up with as I'm doing some research. Not getting enough sleep can actually contribute to depression and anxiety. It can actually cause high blood pressure. And, a big part of that is just, again, your body does not get enough rest and recovery. It negatively affects your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is your body's ability to be able to put itself to sleep or get enough rest. So it's your body releases different hormones. So serotonin at night in order to help put you to sleep, get you to relax a little bit, and then actually a little bit of cortisol in the morning in order to kind of give you that rev up so you can get up and get moving and come out of that sleep. So, they can completely throw you off when you're not getting enough sleep. It can affect your immune health, your metabolism in more than one way, and I found that fascinating. There's a lot of research to show that people who do not get enough sleep are more likely to deal with obesity and weight gain over time. So, if you're struggling to lose weight and you're not getting enough sleep, that is a major contribution to that. It can actually increase your risk of diabetes. Of course, part of that is a genetic predisposition to have it, but it can definitely increase your chances of having issues with type 2 diabetes. It can threaten your heart health, your cardiovascular health. And of course, heart disease is big these days. It kills a lot of people. So, getting enough sleep can actually help ward that off. Aging skin. Didn't even think about this one, but not getting enough sleep can actually promote your skin to age faster. And I don't know about you, I don't want that to happen. I'm trying to fight that one every step of the way. Also, increased risk of stroke. So I know there's more than that. I just kind of pulled some interesting things about that. And you may have more issues. Like I said, I'm interested to see what people have to say about that. Pop something below. I'm interested to see if you are struggling with sleep. What do you feel are some of the side effects of not getting enough sleep? So let's talk about the benefits of getting enough sleep. Like I said, I think sometimes we don't give that portion of our lives enough thought process or, support as to what it accomplishes for us. One of the interesting things that I've studied over time, again, for those that are trying to be healthy and struggling with weight gain and trying to of course, I don't like the word weight loss. I prefer fat loss. Okay, Drew says no energy the next day. That would be highly true, right? You really struggle with energy. So that actually plays right into what I'm talking about, that those that don't get enough sleep, your body is going to crave a way for fuel, for energy source. And so you will actually crave more food, especially sugars, because your body is trying to find a way to build some energy, to have some fuel during the day. So, if you're not getting enough sleep and you're really struggling to lose weight, that's a big portion of it. You've got to figure out a way. You have to make sleep a priority. Nobody can do it for you. If you are struggling, there are some things that you can do to help with that, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the first one has to be your choice. You have to get to bed at a decent hour, and you have to allot enough time to get the sleep that you need. And that was probably one of my biggest issues for the last few years. I just didn't allot enough time. I was going to bed at 10, 11 o'clock at night, getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning, not feeling refreshed, really putting my body through some major stress to get all these goals done. And that's, now I'm working with that and trying to get that better into, and under control. So, and Drew also says, no wonder, ice cream. Yeah, you do crave sugar. Of course, when we crave foods, it doesn't tend to be healthy foods, right? It tends to be something that's more of a comfort food, for whatever reason. So, well, there are reasons, but we'll talk about that later. So, benefits of getting enough sleep, okay? Number one, this is an awesome one. For those of you who really struggle with, especially as we get older, forgetfulness, getting enough sleep improves your memory. And also, I talked a little bit earlier, improves your ability to learn. Your body actually can help consolidate that information. It helps you live longer. Is that not a great option? Does that not motivate you to get enough sleep? There's a lot of research that talks about, the mortality rate of those who aren't getting 6+ hours of sleep. And it's kind of scary. So keep in mind, living on, what a great motivator. Get enough sleep, right? It affects your quality of life. Anybody who struggles with sleep knows that you're going to struggle throughout the day. It actually curbs inflammation, and inflammation is a big buzzword right now. There's a lot of inflammatory nutrients out there or foods out there that people are dealing with. But any sort of inflammation, of course, in the body is not healthy. That can lead to heart disease, stroke, diabetes. We talked a little bit about that. I found this was from health.com. Okay. They said that research shows people who get less than 6 hours or fewer of sleep have higher blood levels of inflammatory proteins. So again, it contributes to all those diseases and that we're dealing with when it comes to inflammation. I know, like I said, a lot of people are working with things like, I take turmeric, and some of those other, nutrients. So, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well. Getting enough sleep helps spur creativity. So, whatever it is, if you are an artist, if you are a writer, if you are working at work on a project and you're trying to brainstorm and work with people and you're really struggling, sometimes it's just better to get some sleep first and then brainstorm or work on that afterwards. It improves athleticism. Most athletes are going to tell you if they're not getting enough sleep, their ability to perform actually suffers. So that's a big one, right? It improves grades. If you are in school, if your kids are in school, if you are doing some sort of higher learning, that can absolutely be impacted by getting enough sleep. It helps sharpen attention. Guys, that's a big one. How many stories have we heard in the last, few years about major accidents happening because somebody fell asleep at the wheel or train accident? I mean, it's kind of a scary deal. You don't get enough sleep. You don't have that improved function and attention that you need in order to do what you got to do, job wise or otherwise. Benefits. The other benefit, healthy. It allows you to maintain a healthy weight or a healthy body. We talked about that it helps control your metabolism, and that's important. As a matter of fact, one of the interesting things I read is that your sleep and your metabolism are actually controlled by the same sectors or sections of your brain. I found that fascinating. It also helps lower your stress, right? How many of you have woken up in the morning and, already been behind, you haven't had enough sleep, and all of a sudden everything just kind of comes crashing down. Your body just can't even handle it. And so of course then we have a meltdown, right? And that's not a good idea. So, sleep is super, super important. That's why I rate it up there when I teach that, if you can do one thing really great and not have the results or the benefits that you want. You can be doing cardio till the cows come home, and you might not be seeing the weight loss or the results that you want to see because you need to get a little bit in each of those under control. Get some cardio in, get some strength training in, get your nutrition under control, make sure you're getting enough sleep, and then making sure you're controlling your stress or your emotional, mental and emotional health as well. Those are all super important. So here's some tips for you. And then I've got a really big thing I'm going to talk about in just a second. So tips for sleeping. Again, you have to prioritize sleep. You can't put it off. You can't say that anything else is more important than that because nobody can control that for you. You have to make that decision. Get your body on a sleep schedule. Your body likes a schedule. It likes routine. So, if you're all over the place, your body doesn't know what to expect, and it just really doesn't get the rest and recovery that it needs. So, try not to stay up too late and get up too early or vary your hours too much. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people think, well, I can just sleep in on the weekends. Your body doesn't like that as much, right? Again, it likes routine. And when you have a big sleep deprivation, even trying to catch up on the weekends is not going to give you the same benefits as getting your full 7 or 8 hours every day during the week. It's a very, very difficult deal to play catch up. Your body just doesn't like it. Other things to help get you to sleep at night, avoid caffeine and nicotine, especially late in the afternoon. And of course, some people should really avoid exercise late in the afternoon or evening. I actually work out fairly late twice a week, and it is pretty intense. And so by the time I'm done, I'm dead. I go to sleep just fine. But for a lot of people, that gets them moving and up and get the blood flowing, and it's not the best option. You might be better off doing your workouts in the morning. Don't take naps after 3 o'clock. And of course, we talked about don't take longer than 20 minutes. A power nap is important. But if you take a nap too late, you're going to struggle to get to sleep or get back into that rhythm. So definitely, if you can wind down, it's a great idea. Now, 3 hours of TV is not considered wind down. That's kind of silly, ridiculous. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch TV, but honestly, I just feel like I have better things to do. But, read a book. Take a hot bath. Do something that kind of calms you down, relaxes you, and gets you prepared for bed. On top of that, have a really good sleeping environment. I've heard, I tend to do it, so I'm not, I'm confessions by me. Sometimes I watch TV before bed, but they say that turning off all blue light and keeping it off, so not having a cell phone by your bed, not being on the computer just before bed, can actually help the brain waves to slow down a little bit so that you're not staying awake. So that's, avoiding the blue light. Having the right mattresses and the right pillow. Yeah, I know they're expensive, but definitely for me, where I have some neck and back issues, I have to have the right pillow or I just don't sleep very well. And of course, then I wake up and I'm a cranky butt. So, and then, for those of us that really struggle to get the mind to slow down at night because we're just thinking of all these things that we have to do and what the kids have to do tomorrow, make a to-do list for tomorrow. Write it down, put it away, set it aside, and move on. Get to sleep. That way you can focus on it tomorrow. You're going to be better refreshed, more readily available to work on that than if you think about it all night and then stress over it. So Douglas asks, should I not watch TV? If you are struggling to get to sleep, it's probably a good idea to turn the TV off. Partially because you might get caught up in a show that takes you much later than you intended, but also because it doesn't allow your brain to actually shut down and start to rest. So again, I'm not going to lie. I do it. I watch TV. That's about the only time I really watch any TV, is sometimes at night I'll, turn on the Food Network. Watch a little bit of food porn when I get ready for bed. But if you're struggling to get to sleep, it might not be your best option. So keep that in mind. Okay, so here's the deal. For those of you that know me, you know that I don't sugarcoat it. I don't promote a whole lot of supplements. I'm not against supplements. I just really feel like you should get the majority of your nutrients from whole foods. But as someone who's been working with health for a long time, there are certain things that I look at because I know that we don't get everything that we need from certain foods. So keep that in mind, that a lot of people offer me the option of trying all these products and looking at things, and I'm kind of like, nah, I primarily get it from these things. However, I do know that a lot of products out there, your body does not absorb them very well. Things like a good portion of your vitamins from the store, especially if they're a hard pressed pill, your body only absorbs about 12% of that. And so it's not about what you eat or what you take in, it's about what your body absorbs. And that's really important because, again, how are you filling the holes or poking the holes in your nutrition if you are not getting it? Your body's just not absorbing it. And for anybody who has a lot of issues with inflammation, it's actually even worse because, especially for anyone with Crohn's disease or any of those inflammational issues with your digestive system, irritable bowel syndrome, a lot of times your body will not absorb the things that you're actually eating, so you're not getting the benefits of the nutrition anyway. So when a product came along not very long ago that I was super interested in, I know a lot of you have tried this product for me just because I wanted to test and see if I liked it. I found it incredible. incredible. There is a brand called Viseo. I have been making everybody try it for me. My whole family's been using it, and I find it absolutely fascinating. And what I love most about it is, number one, it's not a weight loss product, guys. You don't need a weight loss product or a fat burner. We need to take care of the things that are most important, and one of them is sleep. And so I have started my family, and I've gotten a lot of people to try it. It's called Viseo. And this product is called Sleep Micro Mist. Now, I'd already been thinking about opening my own store online through my website, and that should be up and running pretty quickly. But meanwhile, I found these great products, and the first night that I tried this, it sold me. This does contain a little bit of melatonin. Melatonin. I'm not even getting that right because I know it's late. I'm just going to check to make sure. Yeah, melatonin. I got it right. But what I love best about it, guys, is that it is delivered in a liposome system, which is what your body is made up of. It completely bypasses your stomach and is absorbed directly into your system immediately. If you want to try it, I've got samples, but let me just tell you, I'm asleep in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And not only, I do wake up, I do use the bathroom in the middle of the night, but I'm right back to sleep. And that is what sold me on it. I have struggled with sleep for I don't know how long. My 16-year-old daughter, who was struggling, she was only getting about 4 hours a night, is taking it, and she immediately got 9. She's sleeping 9 hours a night. So incredible. Now, this is not the only product that they carry. I have been playing with all of them just because I wanted to know that it works. And like I said, I'm not a fan of promoting something I don't believe in, and so I had to try all of this. I originally started with the Renew microgel because I wanted, I've got some neck and back issues. I've actually stopped taking Flexeril, which is a muscle relaxer. I was taking it every night to sleep and feeling hungover when I got up in the morning because my body just didn't like how it felt on it, and I have stopped taking that with the Renew. It's for joint health. It's absolutely incredible. And again, I have samples of all these, so if you'd like to try it, I'm absolutely willing. Also, if you are local to me, I have something big for you in a second, so don't disappear yet. The other one is energy. Now, as an athlete, I can't tell you how many years I've been on stinking stimulants and fat burners and trying to, only sleeping 5 hours a night, just trying to go during the day, go. And I'm so used to going up and then crashing when I'm done. What I love about this is I don't hit a crash. I just am stable through the day. Again, I'm still an athlete, even though I'm not competing anymore. My life is still cardio. I train every day. I work with people every day. And this gets me through the day without feeling like I'm going to hit a wall at about 3 o'clock, which was my normal. Okay. So again, if you're interested, contact me. I've got samples that I want you to try because I love it. And the deal is, if I want you to try it first to make sure that you love it as well. And then I'll tell you how to get it because it's a great product. So for those of you who are local to me in Tri-Cities, Washington, I'm actually doing an event this Sunday evening. I'll actually be posting some information on it. It is fascinating. Here's the deal, guys. I have done a couple of different businesses in my lifetime. And I'm always wary when somebody comes up to me and says, hey, you should try this. This sold me immediately. I hopped on there. I looked at their product. This is designed by somebody who knows the business end of things. So if you're interested in making some money as well, we can talk. But here's the deal. Sunday night, my house, 6 p.m. I know that I'm into health, and so I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but I am actually providing pizza and wine. I'll make sure you don't eat too much. That's part of it. And you're going to have to forgive me if I don't partake. But pizza and wine at my house. I'm going to let you try the products. I'm going to let you look at it. And I have a huge major player coming from the company directly to my house to actually talk about the products and about the company. So, you got to be here. Definitely, if you're interested, either send me an email or you can leave a comment below and I'll give you more information. For those of you, like I said, that know me, I'm not going to give you a bunch of bahooey. I'm not into gimmicks. I'm not into doing a bunch of garbage. I want you to try it first and see what you think. But heck, if it gives you enough sleep, if it helps reduce your pain, if it helps you to have clarity and a better life, and it also helps make you money, I don't see a downside to that. So keep that in mind. So I'll be posting some information on that. Hopefully I've helped you understand tonight a little bit more information about sleep. I have some other fun tidbits that I might have to post here a little bit later as well. Just because I work with so many people that really do struggle with sleep. You know what? Post your issues and we'll address them as we go. We'll kind of go back and forth later this evening, and I'll give you some ideas and some things that I've learned over the last few weeks about struggling with sleep. So hopefully that helps. I love that you guys have all jumped on here and that you've participated. And hopefully you have a great night's sleep tonight. So we'll talk to you soon.